$40 billion vanished. A crypto empire crumbled. And the man once hailed as a visionary now faces years behind bars. This is the story of how Do Kwon went from 130 years on paper to facing a maximum of just 12 years behind bars. On August 14, 2025, in a New York courtroom, Do Kwon stood before the judge. Just months earlier, he had pleaded not guilty to 9 criminal charges. Charges that, if fully convicted, could have put him away for more than a century. But that day, something changed. He admitted guilt. And with a single plea deal, the fate of one of the biggest names in crypto took a dramatic turn. Do Kwon was once the celebrated co-founder of Terra Labs. His creation, the Terra USD stablecoin, and its sister token Luna, were marketed as revolutionary, promising stability in a volatile crypto market. At its peak in early 2022, the Terra ecosystem was worth close to $50 billion. But in May 2022, everything collapsed. Terra USD lost its peg to the dollar, and Luna's value plummeted to almost zero. Within days, around $40 billion in investor wealth had been wiped out. The shockwave hit retail traders, institutions, and even national economies that had dabbled in the project. Authorities in the United States accused Kwon of deceiving the public. Prosecutors said he lied when claiming Terra USD's peg was restored through its algorithm. In reality, they alleged, Kwon had secretly arranged with a high-frequency trading firm to buy large amounts of the token, artificially propping up the price. In January 2025, a U.S. federal grand jury indicted him on 9 counts, including securities fraud, commodities fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy to launder money. On paper, if convicted on all counts, he could have faced up to 130 years in prison. Kwon initially denied everything. From his arrest in Montenegro in 2023, where he was caught carrying falsified travel documents, to his extradition to the United States, his stance was defiant. But as the evidence mounted, the strategy shifted. On August 14, 2025, in a pivotal court hearing, Do Kwon changed his plea to guilty on 2 charges: conspiracy to defraud and wire fraud. The other charges were dropped as part of a negotiated agreement. Under the plea deal, prosecutors agreed not to seek more than 12 years in prison. In return, Kwon accepted over $19 million in forfeiture, gave up his stake in Terra Labs, and agreed to a lifetime ban from working with cryptocurrency. This wasn't his first legal blow. In 2024, he settled a civil case with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for a total of $4.55 billion, including an $80 million penalty and that same lifetime crypto ban. In court, Kwon admitted, "I made false and misleading statements. What I did was wrong." The admission marked a sharp fall from grace for a man once celebrated as a tech innovator. Legal experts noted that a 12-year cap is an unusually favorable outcome given the scale of losses. Former prosecutor Nick Bunch put it plainly, 12 is a pretty good deal. But favorable doesn't mean free. Even with the deal, the sentencing judge still has the power to impose up to 25 years. The final sentencing is scheduled for December 11, 2025. Until then, Kwon remains in federal custody. Under U.S. law, after serving half of his sentence, he could be transferred to another country, but nothing is guaranteed. For investors who lost everything, the plea offers little comfort. The billions vanished in 2022 are not coming back. For the crypto industry, the case stands as one of its most high-profile criminal convictions, a warning that bold promises and market hype do not protect against fraud charges. The Terra collapse reshaped how regulators approach stablecoins and blockchain projects. Stricter oversight, more aggressive enforcement, and a skeptical public have become the new reality. And for Do Kwon, the road from crypto royalty to convicted felon is now complete. From commanding global attention on stage at tech conferences to standing in court, admitting guilt. From planning the future of finance to planning how to spend the next decade behind bars. On paper, this was a man who could have spent the rest of his life in prison. Now he's looking at a maximum of 12 years, and perhaps far less if the judge is lenient. But the final decision hasn't been made. Will the judge stick to the deal? Or will December 11th bring a sentence closer to the maximum? If you want to know the moment it happens, subscribe now. Because when the gavel falls on Do Kwon's future, you'll hear it here first.